Excuse me! Taxi!
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
And some big news in the Nancy Guthrie case. Investigators have found a black glove that they believe is very similar and maybe a match compared to the attacker who was seen on that surveillance footage that we have all seen in the last day or so. Well, who better than James Gagliano joining us now? He is a security and law enforcement analyst and also former FBI supervisory special agent. James, you're there in Tucson. Do we know if this is a match? What are they saying about this glove?
Well, and I apologize. It's a little sketchy where I am right now. I am in the Catalina Hills, from exactly where Guthrie's house is. The glove that was discovered looks like it was about 1.5 miles away, so just outside of the neighborhood. And I want to caution your listeners to, we're pumping the brakes here just to make sure, because I know everybody's very excited about this. The discussion is, can DNA be extracted from that glove? But the big question is, medical gloves get dropped on roadsides all the time and for all kinds of reasons. And is this glove a similar glove to the one that we saw in the video that the FBI released yesterday? And Rita, at this moment, we just don't know for sure. It's being processed by the FBI. They're none better to do that forensic analysis and harvesting of DNA, and hopefully we'll have something from that soon.
What about the guy last night, the one, the big thing we were covering at wall to wall last night, because they suddenly detained this guy pretty close to the U.S.-Mexico border, and then they released him. And he said he delivers packages, and he might have delivered a package there. Is there anything to that guy or someone else?
Great question. So that happened late last night, and it happened in a place called Rio Rico, which is about 60 miles south of where we are right here in Tucson, and it's right along the Mexican border. It's in a border town. The concern was that there were two different things that happened. And Rita, you'll understand the distinction here legally. The person that was pulled over and interviewed, they conducted an investigative detention. There was some type of reasonable suspicion that he might have been connected to this. There's been speculation abounding that maybe it was possibly a result of the fact that a neighbor or family member might have seen the still images from the perpetrator on Mrs. Guthrie's porch and said, wow, that looks very similar to this guy. However, there was no probable cause to arrest him. So law enforcement stopped him, pulled him out of his car, detained him under an investigative detention, which Terry v. Ohio, which is a Supreme Court case, allows you to do if you have reasonable suspicion that somebody has committed a crime and you want to confirm yes or no this is somebody that was involved in that. He was detained for 2 hours, and during that time frame, they conducted a search warrant, which you know is a level above. It requires probable cause, a court order, so a judge signed off saying there is probably evidence of a crime at this location. And yes, they made entry into the house where this gentleman lived. They ended up spending a couple of hours there and then determined that they were releasing the home back to him, and they released him. People have suggested, and I'll wrap it up quickly, well, that means that we're back at square one, or this is a dead end. Rita, you know this in investigations. There are just a ton of leads that are being run now. There were 10,000 by the first thing this morning just from the video that was released yesterday itself. So in this instance, no, this does not mean the investigation is stonewalled. This does mean that in this particular instance, the evidence did not lead to making an arrest or to considering somebody a suspect.
And we also have Fernando Mateo here, James.
James, one of the things that I've noticed is that every day there's information being leaked or sent to the media regarding the investigation. Years ago, the FBI and law enforcement would do their investigation and keep things quiet until they had something solid. Why is it that today, every day, any development that happens is leaked out there? Who puts out this information?
That's a great question. Being out here on the ground, and look, I've spent my life on both sides of the crime scene tape. So I spent 25 years in the FBI where I kept my lips shut. I stayed on that side conducting the investigations. I didn't engage in with the press until I got further up in the organization and had to conduct press conferences and those types of things. Now on the other side, and I'm not a journalist, but as an analyst, and you're talking to sources and things like that, it's just a new medium now. And that medium is the fact that social media and sourcing works so differently since we're not using newspapers to basically put out information. It's a great point you made. You know, why are certain things leaked out? Well, leaks are as old as the Republic itself. They go all the way back to the Founding Fathers. What I'm concerned about is the plethora of information that's being pushed out that's not important. And when you conduct too many pressers and you push too much stuff out, and I'm going to share something with the WABC audience here. I know this for a fact because I've talked to people within the FBI. For the first 2 days of this investigation, and we are now in day 11 going into day 12, the first 2 days, the Pima County, Arizona Sheriff's Office and the FBI were not allowed to work together. Pima County Sheriff's Office has the lead in this investigation. The FBI is there to lend support. Remember, when it comes to kidnappings, the FBI only has purview if you can prove interstate, meaning a person was taken or abducted.
Wow, we didn't know that.
State lines.
Right.
Yes.
So they could not come in. Right.
They can't. That's why we are in an advisory capacity right now.
Well,
Understood.
James, you got to keep us posted. If you can call in tomorrow with the latest too, that'd be great.
Rito, if anything develops, Rito will be on at 10 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, join me tonight, James, if you can. That'd be
You're
great.
going to leak it here.
Yeah, exactly.
77, the most listened to radio station in the nation.
Yeah, James, thank you
Over
so
a
much.
million.
James, thank you for everything. Thanks so much.